Chosen ones, where you are. Chosen ones, your enemies are not God. Alright? And it doesn't matter what your enemies, your haters, sees in you. Okay? What matters is what God sees in you. Okay? Let's look at this analogy. Jacob looked at his son, Joseph, and saw a very good son. Joseph's brothers, 10 brothers, looked at him and saw in him a useless dreamer. Right? The travelers saw Joseph and they saw in him a slave boy. Potiphar saw Joseph and saw in him a servant. Alright? Potiphar's wife see Joseph, look at him, and saw in Joseph a potential, sweet, succulent, energetic, vibrant boyfriend. Alright? That was what she saw. The prisoners, look at Joseph and saw in Joseph a prisoner. Alright? But God looked at Joseph and saw in Joseph a prime minister. So chosen ones, it doesn't matter what people sees in you. It doesn't matter what people see you to be. It doesn't matter what people say about you. It doesn't matter the names they call you. It doesn't matter. What matters is what God has put in you and what God is seeing you to become or to be. Alright? So don't be discouraged by what people say to you, by the way people treat you, by the way people accept you. Don't be bothered. Don't be discouraged by such things. But rather, as a chosen one, you got to be encouraged about how God sees you, what God has put in you, what God wants you to be. Alright? So you got to rely on God and count it all joy. Look at yourself and see what God is saying about your life. I believe each and every one, as we were growing up, we all have a dream. God has revealed certain things to us. Who we will become, maybe the country we'll be staying, the properties we'll be owing. In this life, the possessions we'll be having. But when you look at your situation at then, you think you are no more near it. You cannot become such a person. I'm telling you, whatever dream that the Lord has revealed to you will come to pass. No matter what the devil does, no matter what the enemy does. Enemies are not God. Haters are not God. The people that don't love you at your workplace, your relatives, your family members, your friends that don't love you, that says negative things about you, that tarnish your image, your reputation, try to dislodge you, try to say lies about you, to spoil your work, your connections and stuff. Chosen ones, they are not God. Don't be moved by your situation. Don't be misled by the happiness around you. But always you got to focus and be encouraged about what God sees in you and what God is saying concerning your life. Don't be discouraged by the misuse mishandle. Alright? Never, ever be discouraged. Look at David. David was just a young boy who was taking care of sheep in the bush. And that was how he learned how to fight wild animals. And that was what prepared him to fight the giant Goliath. Right? Look at Esther. Look at Esther. Esther was just an orphan. Yet, God sees in a future queen. So don't be moved by what people see you to be. Be encouraged by what God has put in you, what God is seeing you to be. Because you are what God says you are, you have what God says you have, and you can do what God says you can do. Nothing can stop this. Alright? So, don't be misled by what you're going through right now and think that is the end of you. That is where you're going to be forever. That is the work you'll be doing forever. No. It is just a stepping stone. And to the people who have made it, who are watching this video, treat each and every one with equal respect. Because your garden boy, your house help today can own mansions, multi-time businesses, and employ your children or your great-grandchildren. Alright? Your servant today can become a CEO of a company, of a multi-time business, and employ your children or your grandchildren. When we understand things this way, we will let love lead. We will let love guide us, and we will treat each and every one with equal respect, because we don't know what tomorrow holds. And a person who looks like an orphan, who is an orphan today, can be a president tomorrow. Alright? So, let us treat each and every one with love. For love is the greatest. Alright? Things can change. God has the power to change things, to turn things around. So we got to be careful the way we treat people. The way we treat people matters so much. Your worker today, who is waitress or waiter at your workplace, at your restaurant, at your whatever, may become a big-time business owner tomorrow and will employ your children or your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren, or even his children can become great and employ your children or your great-grandchildren. So when you are doing good for someone today, don't think it is in vain. If the person cannot repay you today, maybe the person's children or child will reciprocate that love to your children, your grandchildren, or your great-grandchildren. Love is what sustains us. even if we are no more. When we don't have it, it is the love that we give to people that sustains us. We should let love lead and treat each and every one with equal respect. Because the charcoal seller's son will also put on white one day. This is an African proverb. I repeat, the charcoal seller's son or child or daughter will also put on white clothing one day. Okay? The charcoal seller's child, whose today's look dirty, charcoal has, get into the dress, and the skin look dirty, dark, black. Will one day, tomorrow, be neat and put on white clothing. This is an African proverb for the wise to ponder over. So be careful the way you treat people. It is very important. I'll urge each and every chosen one to let love lead, because tomorrow is a mystery. Nobody knows tomorrow. Nobody knows what the future holds. Nobody knows. Right? The person you're rejecting, disappointing, disowning today, be careful. Alright? Be careful. Let us be nice to each other, to one another. Because when we do that, it's going to make this world a very lovely and a beautiful place to stay. Thank you, chosen ones. I'm out.